Breaking news, you might say heartbreaking news. A heartbreaking day in Florida, and sadly an all too familiar one. 17 people are now confirmed dead. We know at least 3 people still in critical condition after police say that a shooter, believed to be just 19 years old, opened fire at his former high school.
The deadly school shooting in Michigan at Oxford High School. That's about an hour north of Detroit. 3 students killed, at least 8 others injured, including a teacher.
At least 58 people now dead, more than 500 people wounded in a horrific shooting on the Las Vegas Strip. It's the deadliest mass shooting in modern United States history.
It seems like every day on the news there's a new mass shooting, a new murder caused by a firearm. It also seems like nothing is changing. We see constant push for new firearm policies and laws, but when will this finally come to action? So many people are suffering. When will we wake up as a country and realize this is wrong and take a stand? Our U.S. gun policies are currently failing us, causing more panics and more lives to be taken from us. We need to figure out the roots of these problems and create policies against them so we can prevent this from further happening.
Way, the U.S. has many more mass shooters than the rest of the world, more than 1 per every 10 million people between 1998 and 2012.
As we can see from data provided by NBC News showing the number of public mass shooters in every country, we can see that the rates are extremely higher than any other country. All of them aren't even close. Looking at this data clearly, we can see something is wrong. But unfortunately, this isn't even all.
David Hemingway, a professor of health policy at Harvard, sent us the latest data he analyzed. As of 2015, more than 4 out of 100,000 people in the United States were killed using a gun. That's way above all other rich countries he and his co-author looked at.
Again, this evidence is alarming. Our statistics should not be like this. We have the resources and obviously the finances to implement new policies. What is going wrong? Let's take a look at some policies that previous presidents have put into action to combat the epidemic of gun violence.
The 44th President of the United States defied Congress to amend America's gun laws. Everyone buying a gun will now be subject to a background check, all sellers licensed.
These laws, implemented back in 2016, are nothing more but a great step into saving our country from these selfless crimes. Having sales only from licensed sellers and background checks should help greatly, right? Well, that isn't exactly the case. What we need to do is find the roots of why the firearm homicide rates keep going up and combat against that. Otherwise, we will lose more and more lives to gun violence each and every day. A root that can be easily identified is gun trafficking. Gun trafficking is the illicit trade of contraband small arms and ammunition. In simpler terms, it is the illegal sale of firearms, not under a licensed firearm dealer. Here we can see some instances of unlicensed dealers. Do you see how much they are selling and how little time/punishment they are getting as well? This does nothing more but contribute to my next point. Because of the insane amount of unlicensed gun sales, more guns are actually in circulation. Clearly the punishment for these crimes is way under what it should be. To further prevent these sales from happening, we must impose stricter punishments to prevent people from wanting to do these in the first place. Not these weak ones, because we can clearly see where these weak punishments are getting us. As we can see here, more guns in circulation equals more mass shootings/homicides. As we can see from this data found by EFGSV, an organization specializing in preventing gun violence, we can clearly see a direct correlation between these two. Even more of a reason for the US to crack down harder on the spread of firearms through whatever means, such as my previous example being gun trafficking. A big opposition to why people want to keep guns is for concealed carry. Concealed carry is being registered legally to carry a gun around with you. You must be background checked and must be licensed to do this, however. While this does seem like a good idea on paper, we always do not know the intentions of people who are registered to concealed carry. This ties into evidence that was found showing that more guns in circulation lead to more mass homicides. Using this reasoning, there really isn't a point to having concealed carry when we are trying to minimize homicides. Other countries do not have concealed carry and have lower homicide rates, so what is the point? My last point is going to be public support. As seen here, we can see tons of support for the March for Our Lives movement, a movement created by survivors of the Parkland shooting to combat gun violence. If we have tons of support already, why shouldn't we take action to impose these gun laws? Our current policies are clearly failing us, and while we have seen many instances of attempts to help combat this issue, like Obama, it always seems to creep back up on us. So in conclusion, as a country, let's take a stand against these policies and realize that they are failing us and find fixes and find the roots to fix these problems, so we do not have to live in the horrors of gun violence terrorizing us each and every day in this country.